So it is a radio comedy sketch show called The Relatives, and the characters are based on my main female role models growing up. So my mum, my nan, grandmother and auntie, with the odd supporting character being an odd member of the family that I've heard them say that once, and I've just chucked them in as a supporting role. So yeah, and I wrote it, and I edited it, produced it, created it, and I voiced most characters for it. So I was very much, it sort of started out when I was at university, and I finished uni in 2018 doing performing arts, and I did a dissertation and we had to do a piece, so I chose to do a one-woman comedic sketch play about representations of women, and interviewed those three same female role models in my life about their experiences with misogyny, like growing up as like a 90-year-old woman, 90-year-old woman, 60-year-old woman, 50-year-old woman. Yeah, so that's where it started, and then I started doing stand-up comedy. That's my sort of first experience with comedy, and then I got to drama school out of North and literally just finished, but I also had to do another project which was like another dissertation kind of thing, and I just really wanted to do like sketches instead of making it like more political, just making it just more about the comedy. So yeah, so I decided to base it more on the people than their experiences as such, if that makes sense. So like each sketch is based on real life. Most things the characters say are based on real life. They're not like, none of them are even exaggerated. Like my mum is genuinely that bonkers, and my nan and my auntie. So yeah, it's just my own little world. Like it's just my own little world of bonkers, hilarious people. That will probably just remind everyone of their own relatives being bonkers, because everyone's got a bonkers family. I'm just kind of being honest and being like, this is mine. So I was originally going to film it, but because of the pandemic, like literally doing my course during the pandemic, my tutor said this is going to be a lot for you to do because of all the because it was literally the first wave was when I was supposed to start filming. My tutor was like, this is just going to be too difficult. You're doing an MA as well, you know. It was part of my MA, and I had all this other MA stuff to do. So have you considered radio? And I was like, oh, I don't know. And then I just started listening to loads of radio comedies like Ankle Tag and Cabin Pressure and all that kind of stuff. I just kind of fell in love with it, and I just thought, wow, this is so much, not just easier, but you can just base it anywhere, anything can happen, it doesn't matter. Do you know what I mean? Whereas TV, you've got to like find the right location, like you couldn't just set it on an aeroplane or something like that. I mean, most of the voices, my friend Maggie, Wignall, and James Reilly, who I went to drama school with, voice a couple other parts. So Maggie voices the carer, so my nan's character is like a double act with her carer. So she voices the carer, and I voice my nan, my grandmother, which is really good because like she's really comical and we bounce off each other really well. And I really wanted to do like a couple sketches which is based on like a comedy duo, like French and Saunders and stuff like that. And then my friend James Reilly voices like most of the supporting characters, which is really good because like we're all three actors who are capable of doing lots of different voices and accents, which is something that's really exciting about radio, is you can create a whole world with just, I think there's like 20 characters total with just 3 voices. So well, this is my second time writing something. So my first time was the one-woman play, which I performed at uni, and then I performed at the Courtyard Theatre London. So this is my first ever time writing for recorded, but it's my first time being part of the Fringe. Yeah, I don't know, it's quite hard to find places for radio pieces because they have like film festivals and then you have theatre festivals and fringes, but then radio is a bit like, there's not as much choice. So when I saw this accepts digital pieces, I jumped, you know, but I've been like, it was on BBC Radio Lancashire a few weeks back, yeah. So I'm just emailing it to radio stations as of like half an hour ago. I started emailing it again to radio stations. But yeah, it's quite hard to find. But I'm trying to, so I worked so hard on it. I'm trying to take it to as many places as I can. But Obviously, just finishing drama school, I have like a million things on my mind. But once I get, sort of more time to think about how I can develop it, like, okay, now I've used that as much as I can. Time to change it up a bit. And I kind of want to make a series of it instead of just one episode. I'd quite like to make a series of, The Relatives, the series. And the idea is that people, I've always lived abroad, so whenever I came home I'd see all my relatives at once, and I think the idea of this show is you just meet all these bonkers relatives at once. So I think like an episodic, that's a hard word, episodic series would be really cool. But yeah, I'm really influenced by like Catherine Tate, French and Saunders, those sorts of older comedians, and they've done a lot of like making theirs radio, stage, TV, so I'd love to follow in those sorts of footsteps. It's just bonkers, but I'm hoping to start writing something completely different, but also based on my 9, which is actually the complete opposite of what this is. It's so I really want to write either a TV drama or a feature film about my 9, my grandmother's experience of emotional and abuse with her husband, because she has just a really unique story, because she ended up leaving him and then living the last 10 years of her life in really, really happy. So again, I like making things that are about my family. I don't like making things about myself, because I don't find myself that interesting, so I like making it about people, and just supposedly so far it's been people in my family, but I like making stuff about women that are older than 30 and 40, which you don't often see, and especially my grandmother's story is so unique, and I have such a unique perspective being her granddaughter, that I'd love to write something more unique, and something about an older woman, and raising awareness for emotional and domestic abuse within an elderly marriage. So it's completely different.